again, I feel like Booger and Braze are going to qualify today. You know, it shouldn't be a crazy prediction, but the way that they're putting themselves in really good positions in endgame, the way that they're playing these endgames so consistently, they don't look fazed by the pressure of this lobby. And again, it shouldn't be a crazy prediction, but with the way that these guys have been playing, they should qualify.
Yeah, Booger's doing just fine so far in the tournament. 75 points total earned. In case you were wondering, that is an accurate count. That puts him in 7th place, still trailing by 21 points behind Virgo and Shadow, whom again have already earned points here. I know in the replay you saw it taken out there, the STC highlight, but Panzer, Japco on the other side, every time we jump to them in between the breaks, it is just like watching pain personified. Just they look miserable. It's been tough on them so far as they've really not performed up to their own expectations. Well, Panzer actually spots Night and Night, was quick on the draw there, doesn't even wait for his own teammate. We'll see how that fight ends up going out. We'll keep an eye on the feed. Salvatore and Yasuno, quick updates. Looking all right.
Looking fine. Yep, good start to the day from them, of course. First game victory royale is going to give them that boost at the beginning of the day. And the analysts were sort of speaking about it after that game. One game cannot be the be-all and end-all. You can't lose the momentum. You can't lose sight of the format of the competition. And I think for them, that's going to be the most important thing. It's not getting too ahead of themselves, not getting too excited, and just maintaining. Having a couple of wins maybe is going to be all you need, and then some decent end games to go alongside it. Same with Gon and Knight. Finding themselves in good positions in endgame, going for crazy plays on height as well. They're taking risks, they're taking control, which is exactly what you need to do in these lobbies.
Furia boys looking well. ORC's Nosif and Izzy looking strong too. Little pop from the crowd here, of course. Whenever Izzy and Nosif are on show. Zone kind of coming dead center here. It's going to fare favorably for everyone for the most part. All the other games we've had, everyone's pretty much had their kind of pick of whether or not they wanted to stay deep in the storm. I think this one's going to play a little differently. I'm excited to see something a little more dynamic from the few. Teams already eliminated, though, to keep y'all up to date. Vazin and Anon, Aoxy and Jojo Fishy, the first two to fall. It's not very common that teams will fall in these types of formats either. But hey, sometimes you draw the short stick.
Yeah, it's difficult. But again, likewise, you have a good game. That shouldn't get too ahead of yourself. If you have a bad game, you've still got plenty more to go. And a completely new map as well halfway through. So for those guys to continue to keep the vibes high is going to be really important. And I'm really intrigued as to how today is going to play out in general, because remember the last couple of days we've had the bottom 3 getting eliminated, right? Now we've got 14 teams being eliminated. So the latter stage of competition today, what sort of strats people are going to start pulling out, I do not know. Because you could be, I mean, if you're dead last or you're way down there, you might as well go for some crazy plays that we haven't gotten to see yet. Because realistically, previously, making those plays could have found you in that bottom 3 as well. So it is a lot more opportunity for risk today.
Yeah, we're going to have to see kind of performances like what Faded and Colin are doing, where you land and you get those 4 elims and you really set yourself up.
Yeah.
With some good head starts. And, you know, everyone realistically needs to play with urgency all throughout the tournament. You cannot ease up.
So Sky and Scroll get possibly the worst supply drop you could probably get, right? There's a green loot everywhere. It's terrible. In a good position, though, again. This is the sort of team that you put them in that position after 7th zone, get on low ground like they did in that last game. They're just levels above the rest of the lobby. But they just didn't show that yesterday. We didn't get to see the Sky and Scroll that we were used to. In that last game, it felt like I was watching a traditional Battle Royale game from EU. It just felt normal. It felt like the world was at peace when that was happening. Yesterday was the complete opposite.
Yeah, we heard it from them. They said it themselves. Hey, look, we gave a lot of respect to lobby. It was a difficult... They said it was a difficult, difficult lobby. I don't know, you know, again, European, little bit of a language barrier. Not sure if they meant that more so like difficult as in we were in our heads that we didn't really play the way we should have. We gave too much respect. Or it was literally harder than we expected, and we just couldn't perform.
Can you imagine Peterbot ever saying that?
Right. You never hear it
the
that
lobby was
way.
really hard. Like, it just,
Well,
they gave him too much respect.
Maybe if he had to translate into another language, right? That's my point. Is like maybe it just came across that way, but the way it came across again in English, not their native language, it was like, hey, the lobby was very hard.
Maybe I just don't think they gave themselves enough respect and gave everyone else far too much respect. You don't see teams like Peterbot and Poyo, Shark, and TD giving the rest of the lobby respect. You saw them keying everyone. You saw them going for anyone and everyone off spawn and then just closing out fights really well.
Yeah, speaking of which, that FN competitive account put up a little interview. It's like, hey, when you hear a team that's better than you, tell us. It's like, no, Peterbot, Poyo,
It was the
dead
quietest
silent,
video I've ever watched.
They rattled off the 3 strongest duos you've ever heard of. Didn't even budge. That's the level of confidence that they bring to the table. But let's get back into survival stage mode here. Panzer already on the move. Again, much more on the line here for Team GK. It's all about club championship points and much and more. T1's Demis and Darm currently leading the competition. If you glance over to the leaderboard there on the right, you can see S8UL faded up towards the top, and then page 2, Virgo Shadow holding down the bar, which is currently 96 points. So 96 points, Booga Braids below them at 21. I'd say at any given time, if you are about 30 points ahead of your immediate competition, you have some buffer.
Yeah.
So Virgo and Shadow are kind of getting there. They're kind of getting to that point to where they're getting to that breakaway section.
Yeah, and we haven't seen like many teams really solidify their spot, whether it was top 7 in the groups or of course now top 6 here today. We haven't seen a team that's just making that top 7, that qualification completely out of reach. So it'll be interesting to see if the difference in the lobby, whether between the top teams and the bottom teams, is as stark today, or if it's like what we've seen previously, where it is really close on that border. Zone pulls back towards that southeast, though. Lots of our teams already find themselves in that position. Going to make things really difficult for those teams. Those like red arrows, those white arrows at the very top, you can see, because they're all set up, positioned, based up on top of a hill. So be interested to see what those sort of rotations are going to look like when they make it in.
Yeah, a few of them kind of holding down those super launch pads. The team to the north already flying in pretty quickly here. But there you have it. The zone's already revealed, so Reboot is now officially on a timer. Just a minute left roughly before this closes. Izzy, Nosif, fans in the crowd once again. Nice little pop. Great noise coming through for Nosif and Izzy. Or are they 51 points in 9th place currently? Of holding things down here.
I think the important thing for them is just staying in contention all day. They're not the sort of team that we would expect to win the whole day, but just staying in contention, keeping that crowd on your side, keeping them excited when you appear on screen. I don't know, you can sort of feel the energy. Obviously, the players have those sort of noise-cancelling over-ear headphones, so in theory, they shouldn't be able to hear it, but I feel like that energy just radiates. They know that they are the fan favorites here in Paris, so keeping themselves in contention is going to be really important for that.
20 seconds now until Reboot's end, and we still have pretty much a single team inside the zone at the moment. Take a look, a lot of action going down here tonight and going under some pressure right now. Phoenix is the one that's taking the bulk of the fire. It's Boots in as the zone starts to close, but Phoenix is in a world of trouble here. It's going to cost him everything, but Retro gets in just in time, actually.
Yeah.
So he does spawn in. He's going to have a chance to possibly reunite.
The worst time to go down, though. Literally the worst time to go down. If you're going to get rebooted, you want to do it earlier on. So it'll be interesting to see how Phoenix and Retro can sort of bounce back from this game after a really rocky start right there. We'll sort of see how that ended up going down. Wow. Lovely little switch up from Yapko right there. Had that piece control. Shotgun into Mammoth Pistol. We've seen a lot of the good teams using Mammoth, so they're looking strong yet again.
Looking for Jacko and Panzer's name. They are dead last at the moment. They needed those eliminations there. Let's see if they can continue to do that and earn some points. Jump up and out. Right behind them is Cringe Voco, Goofy, and Z-Dog. Goofy and Z-Dog had such a strong showing to kick things off. So I'm actually surprised they're so low on the standings at the moment. But again, don't count out any of these teams that have had their moments of greatness.
Yeah.
They know they can do it. There's a rotate coming through. Nice little crash pad action here. Breed's going to make the edit. Booga's going to make the toss. PH in. Ed already make their move. Booga and Breeds are on the hunt. And then jumping into a Golden Knight, like a little update here. 5 eliminations.
Wow.
Make it 6 now. It's on to, again, that Brazilian duo there. Oh, where the guy, when he rolled off, he might even get saved here. Goat's not going to get his finish, I believe. Oh, yeah, he does. Khan actually gets the full finish there.
Nice work from Golden Knight. Keep that confidence going, keep the vibes high. That's going to be the most important thing for them. Nicely pulled back zone here as well for Booga, who actually stayed on top of that hill. You can see a few of those arrows in the bottom right that decided to go down onto the sort of ground next to the river. They got quite lucky that the zone is going to pull sort of around the hill rather than back up it. So it seems like Ruin Moda, Carnum faded. The gamble paid off, and they can live in relative peace down there whilst things transpire. Oh no!
I saw rockets going in from Khan and faded. They're getting active. Then it's going to pull back up and over. Oh man, all these teams will have to begin committing to get back out of the crevice here. Meanwhile, Snide and Scroll, pressure coming in from the high ground duos for whatever reason. Coyote and Yuma have sight lines on what's happening here. Demish and Dark. Actually, they don't have to go up and over. They have that little bit of a pull that allows them to kind of sneak their way on. It's like a battle happening down low, battle happening up top for supremacy here.
Team Shandam looking to have another good game here. Been playing very well. Braids and Booga likewise. Looking to maintain that higher position. You see Gon and Knight from Furia in a good one as well. Cringe and Volko trying to recover their day so far. Find themselves in second last, 19th on the standings. They're looking to try and take this game by storm and take it by force up here on height. Rockets coming down as well, causing absolute havoc. Trying to forge a path so that they can make their way in, make sure that that second height isn't going to look at them whilst Volko is sort of tarping ahead. Nice sort of fundamentals here from high ground. Deemish and Dom clearing out these low ground layers here as well. Virgo is the one that they take out. A little bit higher actually than ultimate low, which is where these guys we know can operate very well. And the zone is just going to be so dangerous here. You can sort of see it's playing on the side of that hill. If it pulls back towards the south or the southwest, that's going to be so dangerous. That's why Shadow here is just trying to elevate as much as possible as a solo as well. Khan taking down Retro right now. Not here as well.
Khan and Fader are playing exceptionally well right now with their run because Shadow is solo at the moment in 6th place. Booga and Braids are still alive on their heels here in this game. And remember, there's a 30-point difference between them. So jumping up and over them is going to take quite some effort. Same can be said for Sky and Scroll, who are also at just 108 points. But it's a fight for high ground. No sip. Izzy go up to the top as Panzer and Jacko from GK get eliminated.
The French boys rise, the French fans rise as well as Sky and Scroll on the complete other end of things look to try and take control of this lower ground section as they did in that last game. Izzy and Nosif, the chants are coming out from the crowd, they're feeling good.
I think reality.
They needed to. So for Izzy and Nosif right now, we get to take a look at how it all went down. Everyone down on low is just completely just scrapping it out.
I mean, it was Izzy, Nosif, and the Mountain. They played so well
Ils peuvent
together.
pas remonter, ils peuvent pas monter. Go descendre, vas-y, go descendre. Vas-y, frère.
You see, not much comms needed when you got the Mountain on your side there to back you up. But seriously, all jokes aside, they had the high ground. They took it at the right time. And I guess the better move was to play that upper natural elevation. It definitely ended up playing out well. We got to give credit to Braids, by the way. Two eliminations there. He actually took down Scroll that was clutching there. We didn't see it on the feed, but he definitely popped off.
Absolutely popped off right there. And those solo clutches are really what can keep you inside of contention to qualify on through all the way into the finals. And just from a sort of viewing perspective, even from a neutral perspective, how good would it be to have both of our French duos in the finals tomorrow? Remember Skyjump Momsy were really good yesterday. Absolutely no shadow of a doubt that they would find themselves into that top 7 and of course into the finals. And for Izzy and Nosif, they're the fan favorites. We want to see them in those finals.
Yeah, we have to, you know. They're obviously setting themselves up for success here. They're putting themselves in a position to have the spotlight on them and really have a moment to make it to finals and then do something big, do something great.
Yeah. It's their time. I mean, with the fans on their side, with the way that they're playing, it's absolutely electric. But what I want to do is I want to hear from them right now. Zeke and Luti are standing by.
No. Fans, EWC, make some noise! Oh my gosh, Izzy Nosif. I cannot believe you guys just got a victory royale. How does it feel in those moments to not only get a win, but then to hear this crowd go crazy?
Qu'est-ce que ça vous fait évidemment d'avoir gagné cette game, mais surtout d'entendre toute la foule qui devient complètement folle.
Franchement, ça fait plaisir, mais c'est pas fini.
I mean, it's really cool, but it is not over.
Bah, franchement, ça nous remet un peu dans le classement, dans le haut du classement. Et ça nous motive encore plus à continuer parce que voilà, je compte le qual et je compte vous rendre fiers, les gars. Donc, let's go.
I want them to be proud of us. This game is really important for us because we're going up now on the standings and the rankings. So it's good, but not over us yet.
Obviously, that's right. It's not over. You still have to make it into the top 6 at the end of the competition for you to make it into the top 6. How will you feel coming into tomorrow's finals?
Justement, il va falloir que vous fassiez top 6. Qu'est-ce qui, à votre avis, qu'est-ce qu'il va falloir pour aller chercher ce top 6 et pour aller réussir à choper votre place pour demain pour la grande finale? Qu'est-ce qui manque?
Bah, franchement, juste de la constance et qu'on fasse le moins d'erreurs possible, qu'on continue de jouer comme on l'a joué sur cette game et puis normalement ça va le faire.
Consistency, the less mistake we can, and just play as we play on this game. And normally we will be able to do it for final tomorrow.
I love that. Obviously, dude, these guys are behind you. EWC is behind you. What do you have to say to these fans? And can you give them all the hype in the world because they want to hear it from you?
Qu'est-ce que vous voulez leur dire à tous ces gens qui sont derrière vous et tout le WC qui vous encourage actuellement sur cette scène?
Bah, franchement, merci à vous. Hein. C'était de la force et merci.
It's given us so much strength, so really thank you to all of you cheering for us.
Can you just tell them right now, say make some noise for us, tell them right now.
Dis-leur, encourage-les et demande-leur de faire un peu plus de bruit encore.
Allez les gars, faites du bruit, faites du bruit, faites du bruit.
Thank you guys so much. Best of luck in the rest of your games, all right?
Bonne chance pour vos prochaines games, les gars. Une dernière fois, du bruit!
He thinks he can come in here and play my game. He knows nothing but go!
Tyler 1, you're done. Raw energy.
Nosif and Ezekiel, the French crowd, very happy. Vivid, what are you doing? What's going? Oh,
All right.
come on! I had to, fanboy. You have to.
I had to, man. Listen, the crowd was getting hype. I was getting hype. Izzy and Nosif, there they are, supporting, showing up for the French community, man. And they were so kind, by the way. Team Orchard were so kind to actually give me a jersey yesterday. They didn't know this was going to happen. I didn't ask for this today. I had this since yesterday. I got to rep them.
Did you get a jersey?
No, I think they ran out of my size, mate. I think.
Yeah, same. Me too.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, Nosif is absolutely incredible. And in day one, we also saw some great plays out of them. I believe they actually got the victory royale in game number 3. So to see them do that actually once again, that is what we want to see. We knew that they had it in them in game number 1 or day number 1, but unfortunately falling by the wayside, just a little bit of rough games going down to 19th and 20th place. But today has already looked leagues better than day 1 for them. And you can hear it in their own confidence that they're feeling so much better about the tournament.
Yeah, they're one of the teams I predicted to enter the top 6 today at the end of the 10 games. And of course, we've seen so many times this year between these two, just how they've been able to face the adversity and overcome expectations. And, we already saw it in Group A a sneak peek, and we saw it a lot yesterday in Group B. The effects this crowd can have on these French players, the backing that they get, the support that they get, it really seems to do something for them. And I think it's going to carry Izzy and Nosif through today.
You know what's funny, Lev, is that we are obviously in a very, very big venue here, right? We got a lot of games going on, and sometimes when we hear the crowd cheer, we're not necessarily sure if it's this game or that game, if it's Fortnite, who are they cheering for? But there was a couple times that game when we saw Izzy and Nosif up on the higher ground, and I heard the crowd cheer, and I was like, were they cheering for them? And then we showed them again on the higher ground, and the cheers happened the exact same time, and I was like, wait a minute, this can't be a coincidence. And sure enough, it was the crowd every single time cheering for Nosif as Izzy anytime they were doing well. But also, we got to mention it, right? We kind of saw it on the leaderboard, how well some of our other teams did in some of those elimination categories. Super impressive.
Not just that, and for EC and Nosif, we got to give them props too, because the first 2 games, they ended up in 9th place, they ended up in 10th place. It's a great bounce back for that duo, and now they're putting in contention to be in the top 6 with only 7 games to go, and that's exactly what we're going to be keeping a close eye on, those top 6 duos that are going to be going towards the finals. Now, we're talking about AGL earlier on, and we got the perfect response out of that duo with the win.
Yeah, I mean, what better way to turn in a conversation about how well Sky and Scroll are doing than to give us a victory royale? But it's not just the victory royale. It's also that we are seeing them finally make it into the end game every single time. Before, there were some moments in the mid game where they went down early, and we just know how devastating that can be. So we still see a few solo clutches coming out of them, Vivid. Obviously, we would love to see them come into the end game with both players alive. But regardless, this is, again, leagues better than what we saw in the group stages.
Yeah, without a doubt. You want to talk about leagues better, Levin? I know you want to talk about them. You're probably itching to kind of talk about them. We saw when we got a quick little peek at that leaderboard, T1, Darm and Demish sitting pretty in first place right now. You kind of called on them. You wanted them to kind of have these good games. They've had good games.
Again, I think it's a reminder. The reality is T1 are a team shouldn't really be playing today, right? If you're going into the competition, most people weren't expecting them to be playing today. Same thing can be said for AJL. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing today. That's why I'm not getting too gassed. It's like, all right, man, you should have been here.
The points in that victory royale for AGL, they ended up with 7 eliminations. Are you happy with that one? Is that exactly what you were looking for, Levin?
You know what? The second the game ended, I said it's not quite the double digits I was asking for. I am I'll give them a bit of grace there because they do get the win, and they've looked a lot stronger today. But yeah, I'm expecting a bit more still.
If you're talking about strong teams, we have to talk about Yasin and Salvatore. I mean, they were doing well yesterday as well. It took a little bit for them to kind of lock on, but Vivid, they have been just performing every single end game. We are seeing them alive.
So one thing that kind of put them on my radar, at least yesterday, was how many eliminations Salva was able to go ahead and pick up. And as you can actually see up here towards the top 5 of the leaderboard, they have actually just been the most consistent team in the placement category. So kind of now switching strategies, perhaps. They've been the most consistent. The eliminations are a little bit lackluster when you do compare them to some of the other teams around them. But hey, second place right now.
Yeah, highlighting more of those teams. Calm and Faded. I got a lot of eyes on Con and Faded. Yesterday, was a crush again for them. I think they went into that last game yesterday in a core spot and they just had dropped out, or at least in the back end of the tournament. They were really sort of in there. Again, a team who, when they qualified for RES finals, we all sort of looked at it and went, oh, okay, new kids on the block, what are they going to do? I actually didn't realize, but they're working with BloodX, right? So they're being coached by, an experienced coach, one of the best coaches in the world. I think so far, looking really strong today. Hopefully it continues.
Vivid, as we're looking at the second page of the overall ranking here, is there any team that's currently surprising you with their performance and being in the second page?
Let's take a look at it here. Actually, Oakley and Spooks, I mean, they were playing so well in their group stage. And, we kind of have this conversation about the survival stage where it's like, yeah, you kind of expect the survival stage to be just a little bit easier because technically you already have, 14 of the better teams that are already qualified to the finals. You're not necessarily competing against them. So with Oakley and Spooks doing well out of the group stage, I was like, oh, well, maybe the survival stage will be a little easier. We'll kind of see them play even better. And, we kind of saw some highlights so far from them from the day. But yeah, down there on the second page, a little bit surprising for me at least.
I'm region biased, so I'm excited to see Bugha and Braids currently within that qualification spot, sitting in 7th place. Obviously, they're going to want to make some changes because they want to get higher up in the leaderboard to make sure that they have that spot solidified for the top 6, actually, I should be saying.
One team that I was looking at on that second page, too, that we saw them a lot yesterday was IOXI and JoJo Fish. I thought we were going to maybe get a little bit different here, but that's not being the case so far today.
Yeah, I was expecting a bit of a better day from them. Again, I looking at that bottom 3, guys, I'm not going to lie, I'm a bit concerned. You're looking at IOXI and JoJo Fish. I'm looking at Yapko Panzer, dead last 20th. I mean, oh my goodness. It was really upsetting for me yesterday when we would pan to Yapko and Panzer a lot. And it was just Panzer with his head down, like head in his hands. And it's like, you have to come into today, reset, mentally prepared to face the lobby. It just feels like they just are completely out of it right now.
And the one thing, Vivid, we got to keep an eye on too, as you were mentioning GK there towards the bottom, the gap now to 6th place is almost 100 points. I know we've seen teams being able to get that in just one match, but it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, it's going to get tougher and tougher. These teams got to go ahead and clutch up. And this is why we love the environment that we are currently in here. Remember, players kind of have the opportunity to take breaks after their games, talk to whoever they want. You can see Sky and Scroll having a little bit of a conversation here as well. So for some of those teams that are towards the bottom, they got to do something very, very similar. Find some way to switch it up because your games are kind of running out, right? Yeah, you can have those 100-plus point games, but you don't want to have to. And honestly, it might not even be possible to clutch up. It's top 6 today. It was a little bit more convenient in the past couple of days where it was top 7, a little bit more easier for to clutch up. Top 6 is going to be tougher.
And obviously that pressure as well, where if you're not going to make it into the top 7, well, hey, as long as if I make it into the top 17, I have another chance. But that obviously is no longer a chance that these players have. But what they do have is more games and in a completely different map. So for the teams that might not be doing so well in Elite Stronghold, they will definitely have plenty of opportunities in Slurp Rush.
There will one team that has been performing well, especially for those first 3 matches. Furia is one we've been keeping a close eye on, Levin, and right now they are in contention as they are in 3rd place. They are within those top 6.
For what they do today. I mean, when they were doing the grid walk and Zeke sort of went to chat to Gon, he did not a brother that was about to play in a survival day. Nothing about his demeanor screamed survival. It seemed that he was thriving, he was comfortable, he was ready for the day, and that has showed in their gameplay every single game.
I mean, the fact that they missed out on qualification just by 2 eliminations, that they were practically qualified. They were there. They had the chance to be able to do it. So for them to be at the top already, I think that they are going to easily make it in.
But I think we talked about it earlier on, right? The high spirits that Gon and Knight were actually in after they essentially failed to qualify for finals, right? When Zeke talked to them, they just seemed so happy, man. They were happy to be here. So still, that mental game, we got to constantly talk about it. These 4 in it throughout a competition. Gon and Knight are a duo that can.
I'm hoping to continue on that consistency too. It's a team that I personally, we're continuing with the bias. I would personally like to see them in the top 6. I would personally like to see them in match point finals. But now it's time we continue on here at survival stage with none other than Mini and Monster.
We would like to see them there as well, but the reality of the matter is, Monster, is that only 6 of our duos here will be making it through this survival stage. It is truly now or never. We're getting towards the 1/3 point of all of these games. Remember, 10 games here today, going into match number 4 right now. Lots of expectations, lots of legacies on the line here as well. And we're going to see 4 of our teams exit the competition today. I think AGAL are going to be really happy with how Sky and Scroll come out of the gates here.
Yes, so far, definitely really good. That first game, little bit of a damper maybe on our expectations of them, but surely they did what they had to do there towards the end, which again, absolutely commendable because now they are back in the competition. Looking at the overall teams here who have now officially broken the top or just into the 100+ point threshold. It's going to be 9th place and above. Shadow and Virgo being the most upsetting slip down, but hey, Nosy and Izzy take 6 now. Solid, by the way. Solid lead after that last Victory Royale. So we'll see how they can continue to perform. Well, here we have it. Match number 4 is now on the way. Those first 3 came by faster than I expected, and it only gets more and more active here game after game. Get ready for that graphic. It's going to pop up quick. It was going to be Retro who gets the first elimination to kick things off here. And then you have Z-Dog, Knight, and others still in the mix. Here's Retro. Retro, okay. Let's see more of that. This is that group stage A Retro we saw in game number 2 that took that win.
Uh-oh.
Gets rolled up on, though. Finish.
Honestly, a lot of this sort of off-spawn fighting is all about getting that shotgun earlier on. Who's going to get it? Braids able to pick one up in this position as well. Nosif there does go down in this sort of area as well. Salvatore in the distance as well. Rue is there as well. Braids wants to get involved in this action, of course. Rue finding that first elim right there, his second of the game so far, and finding another one.
Whoa.
Onto Braids. That was really nice, actually, just sort of putting it in reverse, waiting for Braids to drop on in, then hitting the shot whilst low HP. Pretty impressive stuff there.
This gives you a glimpse of greatness there. You saw Booga kind of backed off that fight, too. It's like, oh, yeah, you do your thing, Braids. Should be all right. Maybe it was a small mistake if they wanted to earn those points. Either way, Sky and Scroll will end up pulling up here. They find Nosif on the other side of the map. Nice little start for them as they secure their first 3 points. Take a look at the highlight from Rue. 9 shield, 3 HP, by the way. Takes down Salvatore, dances, and then demolishes Braids. Like, what was that?
What's so funny about that is if Braids takes him out there, we'd be saying, why is he emoting? What are you doing? Take it seriously. He avoided that, because of course he was able to take down Braids as well. That was quite funny. I like it when players eat. I think they should do it more.
What, emote?
Oh, why not? Yeah, emote. Tell him what's up. You know?
Get rolled up on?
Yeah, I would.
A little bit of everything. Braids actually getting chased right now. He's back to the POI here. Oh, he actually defends. Okay, I like that. He's playing defensively because Booga's under attack here. That could have been very, very bad for them, in fact. So he goes into hiding because Booga gets caught out by Salvatore and Yasin, and that person that was chasing Braids doubles back into the POI. It was Rue and Yasin who, by the way, already showed Braids what time it was, so he wants nothing to do with that.
Salvatore and Yasin looking to find another one right here. They've cleaned up this entire area really well. Yep, there it is. There we go. Give Rue a taste of his own medicine right there. Another emote coming through, but Salvatore and Yasin, they've started the day really strongly here as well. This was probably the team that I had the most questions about in terms of they played well in the group. They didn't qualify through, but I felt like did just enough to still be considered as a top 6 team. I still wasn't quite sure, and they're coming out here really strong.
It's really interesting. It's like when they played well, they played so well. They were like, who is this duo?
Yeah.
And then when they fell short, I think it was just because they have been playing side by side, which is really interesting. They're not doing the whole like, hey, you hold this side, I'll take this side. Yeah. We'll kind of merge together and play endgame. No, they're playing together and dominating, and that's why we're kind of seeing that performance come through. It's a very unique take, I guess, on the game mode, right?
Yeah, and you don't, more often than not in Fortnite, you find a lot of success by not doing what the top teams are doing and what works best for you. Because what Peterbot and Poyo and Shark and Teeny do, it's very difficult to replicate because your name is not Shark, your name's not Peterbot. You can't just jump in box, you can't just carry a mammoth pistol and a shotgun. And it's very easy to get carried away when looking at some of those top teams and thinking, yeah, just do what they do. That's the only reason they find success. But you have to understand what type of team you are. And I think Salvatore and Yasin are a very good example of that as Oakley finds his first of the game. Spooks onto Cringe there as well. So it did look as though that Volker was able to get rebooted. And a big performance needed here for Yapko Panzer, who again find themselves at the wrong end of the lead.
Hey, well, look, last game they were dead last. At least now they've gotten themselves a little bit of a lifeline here, earning some points finally, pushing themselves up and out of the complete bottom. Furia, Knight and Goat already on the move here, 161 points. Things starting to shape up very well. Between first, second, and third, it's a pretty close race there at the top. Meanwhile, Sky and Scroll trying to fight their way up into that conversation. No Scroll at the moment as Sky's getting pushed in pretty aggressively here. This is a bad spot to be in. Scroll's got no shield. Sky goes down. Ooh.
Scroll needed a solo clutch right here just for a little bit. Goes back inside of that storm, very weak as you mentioned as well. So this is the sort of situation that they found themselves in, where I was really surprised about in their group, where they just kept going down early on. And then in game 2, we saw them not doing that. We saw them taking out a lot of players, getting a lot of eliminations, setting themselves up really good for that post-7th zone gameplay. And they found a lot of success. So big questions now for Sky and Score. You can see on the leaderboard, 5th place right now. Not by that much. So, they do have to be very careful here. It's not done and dusted yet, and that's why some of the celebrations are quite muted, I guess you could say, particularly from the teams that are getting wins here.
Yeah, surely Luga looking like he's wearing the scars of the battles. Not too much here on the material count overall, so he's got a bit to catch up. Love that little shot there from the crowd. Izzy's shirt with the
Izzy
signatures
signature
all around it. Yep, and he's got Izzy's, of course. He must be really happy about that. Have to have your favorite player's merch and your favorite player's signature, along with his duo on it.
Yeah.
Must feel good.
That was
you got to come to these.
Well, exactly. You get to meet the players. You get to meet lots of different impressive people in the scene. That was a bad sign, I think, though, of your last. Because I feel like I'm ruining it. You got your Izzy shirt with your Izzy signature. Minimize signature. Faison and his teammate Anon, Salvatore, taking down Booga right here. Again, rolling on right here, Salvatore and Yassine. That's their 7th of the game. And like you mentioned, they're doing it together. So they're finding so much success in almost being the anti-strategy from a lot of our teams.
Yeah, and they're kind of pushing the coast here for this dead side rotate to get all these extra, I guess you see, chest there and whatnot. And it's actually working really well. Booga just couldn't catch a break. He's already loaded back in. He's getting back with Braids back over at the Peerless Spear. Meanwhile, Jeffcon Panzer had 4 eliminations now here at the hostile hold. This is pretty far north from the safety of the new zone. So we're getting late into the game here, but it's PH Zin who's on a defending shot. Oh, someone needs the siphon here. Both sides got to be quick. Jeffco's going to opt the shield. PH Zin also just getting, again, chunked alive here. Tries to one away. What can we find? Is there anything that can give him some white HP? Lucky for him, there's a med kit. Panzer and Jacko end up getting with one another. He finds a med kit himself there.
Holy and Spooks down and out of this game.
First duo.
Yeah.
To fall again.
Again. It's been a day to forget for them so far. Thankfully for them, it's only the halfway point. They are about 60 points away from that top 6 currently. It's weird. Lots more expectation on them today, I suppose. Going into their group, not much at all. Maybe that's having a part to play.
Well, they're not too far off. 60 points. They've definitely earned something. It could be much, much worse. You in that 30 range, but 60, you got a foot in the door.
And remember, everyone else is going to be gaining points right now, right? So by the end of this game, it could look more like 80, 90, which is looking even worse. But you're right. It's not down and out for them completely. A lot of teams are down on 30 points. They have to shift things up very massively.
Demis Storm here. Tune it back in with our game or match 4-point leaders coming into this, but Salvatore and Yasin, after just going on a tear, have earned their fair share of the extra points now. Things are looking to kind of park down here at the moment. Plenty of teams in the storm here. Sky and Scroll just making their way out. 4 eliminations for them. Another hot start. So long as they don't fall, it's going to work out very well.
Yeah, they're just in a complete position of just peace right now. There's absolutely nobody in their area. Oh, really unfortunate zone pull actually for them. Yeah, those guys were Sky and Scroll were all right. East. Look at those two pink arrows. I was thinking, yeah, they're going to be a nice zone pull right here. It's going to be good positioning. They need to recoup some of those loot and heals and stuff from top tier training. And the zone pulls back towards the west, and even worse, back up a hill.
Algorithm's like, what? Peace? No, here's a mountain. Let's go over there. You get pulled towards the mountain now. Let's see it. Shadow Virgo, Yuma Coyote, some of the first to touch base. Darman Demish, you see, kind of base down. Here's S8UL's Khan and Faded. Very explosive duo right now. That was pretty dangerous of Khan. He had one hand off the keyboard, which is wild to think about.
As they're confident, especially in wood builds as well. You got the extra cover right there. Got a Knight. Team that's flying in a little bit later. You can see a lot of teams making these later rotations. It is a 2-tick right now. That's why they're having to stop, take a moment to breathe, pop one of these med kits before they do make their way into that dead side of zone. Really nice rotate. You can see on the bottom right of the screen that mini map. They do have a little bit of time until that zone does start to close, though. So you have to imagine they'll be getting onto that edge. It does close completely, I should say. As looking like they can get in a really nice position. Yeah, they make their way into the zone, which is really important for them. And a team that really, I think we should have had higher expectations maybe than we did for these guys, because the way they played was really good. If they qualify through today, they showed that they can play height and get wins. It's like, yeah, why not see these guys in finals? Why not give them a shot?
Yeah, they were only 8 points off. Had they not fallen slightly early in that last game, couple more elims, you can argue, regardless of the clutch from some of the players we saw in that last game. Was it Fuku? It wouldn't have been
literally.
It was that close.
And they had 2 wins as well. It's 2 wins and they still didn't qualify through. Consistency is important as well. Oh, Sky and Scroll. Who do they upset? The Fortnite gods. They've had another zone pull, absolute max. They really want to make it difficult for them. Booga. Reboots are disabled right now, so Braids will not be back in this game for the rest of it. Booga down to a solo. Deemish and Dharma, a team that haven't really been rocked all day. They've looked really solid. Looking a little bit weak on everything right now as well. Those HP having to use those splashes. Medkits being invested here as well. They're waiting for that zone to start pulling around. Unfortunately for them, they do have Yapko and Panzer that are looking to hold them down, but Panzer does get taken out by God, and they're going to close in on this position. They are. Look at this aggression here from the Brazilian duo. The Brazilian region, of course, as well.
Panzer slips out of there. He's still alive, technically. He falls to the low ground. He might actually end up getting saved. We'll see. Oh, Virgo finds him there. He had a moment. There was a chance. A little glimmer of hope, but going tonight and firing off right now. They're looking really good. They are leading the rotates as well. This is all on top of the Chinooku. You can see the terrain getting really awkward there, so have to break through. Meanwhile, Sky and Scroll on the other side, just looking for the pixels in the sky.
Hit this.
Oh, as he clips Cringe in slow motion. That was a filthy shot. You know, normally players render out that
monitor there, trying to look at where the player even was. That was crazy.
Who's on height? Got Japan's Coyote, Yuma. This is the game they need. This is the type of exciting play we need from this duo.
Yeah, they have that. I think they have that sort of confidence in themselves. They understand that they are a team that can perform on LAN. Haven't quite seen that level yet today. Just find themselves outside of that top 10. But they're in contention, putting themselves in a good spot here as well. Deemish and Dharma's managed to recover, and it's these mountainous zones that have been really difficult for those teams all the way down on low ground. That's why the position of Yuma and Coyote is of much importance. Gone and Knight also finding their second elimination, of course, just earlier on. And they're just looking to try and play a lot of these layers now down below. I think the zone does pull a little bit down as well, so as we saw earlier from Izzy and Nosif, the team that stay up, the team that think ahead, are going to be the ones that find the most success, but that's much easier said than done.
Yeah, definitely. But look, they already have 2 elims. They have plenty of material here. They still have a lot to work with. There goes the split from Knight, or to Knight from Gone. Booga is still alive right now, but there's still 19 duos up remaining. No material count. It was just a matter of time, and saw his reaction there. A look of pain just settles in. Scroll falls though. That's going to be pretty rough. Demis just catches him off guard there. Now it's all up to Sky. We've seen this before here. It's an important moment right now too, not to drop the ball here.
Not even in placement points yet. Gone a Knight. Got plenty of material count as well, so they can keep their wits about them in this mid-ground. We've seen plenty of solo clutches from Scroll this week, and Sky now do the same. More than capable. Done so incredibly well across the course of this duo's career as well. Loadout looking good, materials looking okay, which is exactly what you need for these solo clutch situations. Sky, you've got your team on your back, AGAL fans watching on in order to get them to qualify on through right here. Just looking for an opportunity for a little pick. Looking towards the backside of zone. Has gone a Knight, looking very healthy inside of this mid-ground. Huge moments for them because, of course, with Sky and Scroll down to just a solo, Gone a Knight have an opportunity to continue to push themselves forward. Scroll gets caught out in his box. There's another team spraying on through as well. Height's looking as well. Another team take him out. That was Dimush. So Dimush and Dom have taken out Sky and Scroll. You'd have to say their most immediate competition in terms of ability faded down as well as Gon gets his third to continue their propelling through the end game.
That's a surprise too. While all that was happening, so Toyota fall to somehow. High ground not exactly working for them, so they're going to concede to giving it up. Meanwhile, we still have Darm in this game right now. 7 missiles in the rocket launcher. Bone ends up by himself here. Oh, look at that. Actually manages to save Knight potentially here. There's a team below him. Looks like fight just breaking out. It's just Shadow there. Shadow's going to lose the battle. It's up against Mofo. Meanwhile, Darmadevish back in the game. Kind of gathered themselves here. Rockets are coming out. He's recognizing, hey, I got to use this or it's going to go to waste and into the hands of someone else. Meanwhile, JoJo, Fishy, and Aoxy end up on high ground. This time, it's not in the last game of the evening. It's much earlier in the tournament.
Yeah, they're looking to start today as they finished yesterday. Dimush gets another elimination. That's their 6th of the game, using that RPG so well as well. The crowd are up to see Izzy finding one in the feed there as well. Aoxy and JoJo Fishy, no eliminations on them so far. They played this game very well, but you can see that reflected in their materials as well. Only 20 builds there on that team on high. Zone pulls back down towards the bottom as well, towards the POI. So for the teams on low ground, they're going to have to battle it on through. You can see Izzy and Nosif doing that right now, and Paris erupts. They get their 6th of the game. Low ground is theirs. They're continuing to plow on through. They're looking to keep that momentum going off the back of that win. Izzy and Nosif are here to play.
They have a feeling there's someone out there in the storm. It's actually Z-Dog, but look at this. Izzy places side angle, getting behind. Darm and Demis have dug a tunnel, and they're off. Just trying to play for placement points right now. Not sure how well that's going to end up working out. We'll see. Aoxy and JoJo surely have the most dominant position here and now.
Uh-oh.
Oh, they split off in different directions, too. I don't think they even really knew what they wanted to do. Demis falls.
Dom's in it. Dom's still leading off there in the backside of the storm. So he's got a medkit. He's doing okay. Aoxy now having to drop down. The materials are dwindling. Nosif down to a solo as well. 6 eliminations on these guys. Get stuck on such an awkward position right there as well, and does end up falling to JoJo Fishy, but a huge game for the French.
Yeah, Darman Devish also out. So this is a 2v2. Ruin Moda, this is a defining moment for them. Can they fight their way into top 6 here and now, or at least get closer to it? But no, they try to go for the heel off. It's not going to be enough. In the end, Aoxy and JoJo Fishy managed to win another game here at the LAN event. And again, the seriousness on their face because they lost out on potential points. So I'm thinking Rumoda just denied them, considering, hey, maybe we can't exactly turn this around. It's not looking too great. And just like that, at least they're back in the tournament though, Minnie.
Yeah, remember Aoxy, JoJo Fishy, they had a good game, a good finish to the day yesterday, but unfortunately today has been an absolute disaster for them. They haven't even got a single placement point heading into this game. 16th was their best performance, and that's why the reaction very much lulled and not too excitable, because unfortunately for them, they haven't been able to have much to celebrate about throughout this entire week so far. You can see the points that they're on. Rue, of course, had no heals, so couldn't survive in the storm for much longer. 5 eliminations on him, though, so we'll be more than happy with that. But Jojo, Fishy, Aoxy, I think a lot of frustration you can sort of sense from those guys because they know they're capable. They've picked up a win. They picked up a win in the group stage, arguably a harder lobby. They picked up a win here in the survival stage, but it's all the stuff before that. It's the position that they find themselves in where it doesn't mean as much as it could, as much as it should. If we had 3 good games at the beginning of the day, that win would have been cause for celebration, but for Sky and Scroll as well, Sky not able to solo clutch maybe as much as he would have wanted, so they're really keeping it interesting right here for the latter stage of this competition.
Yeah, most definitely. CSE no Sif. Spirits are still up. Only in Spooks there. We caught a little glimpse of them for a moment. Definitely need a little bit more work.
Definitely, but game number 4 was absolutely fantastic. It was electric, but we've got more coming up.
Hi guys, joined here up in the stands. Going to be supporting Sky and Scroll. I'm joined with their mothers here. Thank you guys very, very much for taking the time. Real quick, we got the game going on, so I just want to go ahead and see how they're feeling. Listen, watching Scroll throughout the day today, unfortunately yesterday, kind of knocked down to the stage today. How do you think they're feeling?
The boys are ready. They were, of course, disappointed yesterday, but they are always prepared and ready for a new day.
Okay, and Scroll's mom, thank you very much. How has it been sitting up in the stands and watching Sky play on stage?
I think it's quite nice. I love to see them play, and support them all the time. So nice. Yeah.
Thank you. And listen, one more time, any words of encouragement for the guys? Hopefully they qualify through to tomorrow. And if they do, any words of encouragement for them?
Sorry, I couldn't hear.
Words of encouragement.
We just support them from here. We have all the support.
Perfect. There it is, guys. Yes, very, very supportive, and that helps the players a lot.
Happy. You play medkit. Take your. Go down here. I'm no match. I'm gonna drop down. Here. Take all my gold. I'm dropping. Oh, shit. That's not good. Oh, did we get a kill?
How'd they die?
I don't know.
4 games down in the survival stage and only 6 left to go. That being said, me and Taco here to kind of talk about what's happening so far. And I feel like we're seeing a little bit of a runaway towards the top of the leaderboard. Those first and second places up there towards the top. I feel like first we got to talk about it. Salva and Yassine just playing so consistently today.
Yeah, it's been a really interesting dynamic, but I think that the switch really started to flip for them in yesterday's competition. Right around that game 4 or 5 period, we started to see Salva just get so incredibly aggressive, and honestly, he's been fragging out and carrying a lot of that into today's competition. If they keep it up at this rate, Middle East might just have their representative for finals.
And I feel like that's got to be the conversation. I keep bringing it up personally, but Taco, these smaller regions, you are so used to going to LAN events where you're kind of watching these smaller regions perform in those finals to kind of see so many already make it into the finals and see some playing super well here today. It's got to mean a lot for them.
Oh, obviously. And not only that, but also knowing that they're just one of the 2 teams still left over from the Middle East side of things, because we've seen what took place in the Group A stage and Group B. Unfortunately, there were some eliminations that costed things, but hey, they can still carry the torch.
Without a doubt. And now kind of like the opposite side of the conversation, right? A team that maybe necessarily expected to already be in those finals. I feel like everybody kind of supporting the EU region expected them to do so well in their group stage. It's got to be Dharm and Demus. That being said, they have picked it up immensely today.
Yeah, they have clearly been doing tons of VOD review and likely can get pretty big credit for Sven and just their work ethic. But I've been really impressed by the way that they've come out super strong in the first half of today's competition. Hopefully they'll be able to carry over some of that into the secondary once we switch over to Slurp Rush.
And did you see that game, how they played that last game out, right? Kind of all the way down in the tunnel, just strictly playing for placement points. If they can play like that throughout the rest of the day, that's pretty much much all they need. They have such a good placement towards the top of the leaderboard.
Right, and it's made it very clear that they have a great understanding of how to not only look for those strong elimination matches, I mean, cough, 18 from yesterday, but now if they can continue locking in on the consistency of replacement, they'll just remain right there at the top. They've already built up a nice cushion.
Yeah, would love to see Darman Image continue to do it. Would love to see Salva and Yassine continue to do well. One more team. Who would you like to see start to do well here in the survival stage?
You know, this might be a little bit of bias, but I got to see the Lion, dude. Booga and Braids. I'm ready to see them start really picking up the pace here. And I know that all of these teams, though, 14 of them going to be sent home. It's heartbreaking, but they're all putting in their best effort.
All right, you talked about it. Listen, the survival stage. Let's go ahead and jump into the halfway point. Game number 5. Our casters are red.
That's right. This is it. I mean, we're hitting right into match 5, and then the players will have a moment to really evaluate their current situation and their stance in the tournament. Top 6 move on. The standings is all that matters. The other 14 will have their tournaments cut short and their keys crushed.
You don't want to be one of those teams. There's plenty of them. Percentages-wise, you're more likely to be one of those teams, but with how Darman Dimush, Yassine, Salvatore are playing today, they do not want to be in that position whatsoever. For the teams on this second page, Edson, PH Zin, Phoenix, Retro, Yapko, Panzer, Cringe, Volko all finding themselves in the bottom half of this bottom half. They've really got to turn things up right now. And even though we're going to go to a new map after this game 5, we've seen how momentum can carry over different maps. We've seen how momentum from Peterbot and Poyo. Remember, they won. They didn't have a very good start at all. They won the last game on Elite Stronghold, then went ahead and won the first game on Slurp Rush. It doesn't completely disregard all of that momentum as well. So this is a really important moment for our teams, because this is really truly where you get to decide and you get to determine what type of team you're going to be. Are you going to be a team that's fighting for the top 6 just outside? Are you going to be a team that's trying to hold on to first? Or are you going to be a team at the bottom of the leaderboard that need to just throw every single strategy book out of the window and try something completely new?
Yeah, one thing I'm noticing is that Sky and Skrull are in that dangerous territory right now where they don't have buffer room comparatively to Izzy, Nosif, and above. So being in 6th place, currently holding the threshold at 147. Their next jump up to get up and over Izzy and Nosif, they will have to best them by roughly 40 points. So there is quite a significant margin, a significant gap being kind of designed around 5th and above, and Sky and Skrull are just clinging on to 6 currently. We'll see what they can do. Can they get that big game? More desperation, I feel like, as the rounds go on and the players just go all out for the drop. This is how you want to do it, though. You can easily earn yourself a quick 20 points here. You are lucky. Braids is going to do just that, continuing to kind of solidify his way back into this conversation. Virgo's going to be one of the first to fall. Darm, Salvatore, and Tomat as well. Very, very nice job so far. Braids with a 3rd elimination. Just like that, Coyote finishes him as well. And then it's between him and Goofy here. Japan versus OCE. Coyote has already gotten 2. Gets the 3rd. That is what we want to see from our friend Coyote here. Very nice team for the Zeta boys.
Yeah, they need that too. 12th place right now going into this game. 96 points. Remember that threshold, Sky and Skrull, 147. That is a considerable amount, 51 points behind that top 6 right now. So those few eliminations are going to be really, really vital for them, just to keep them in contention, to keep the vibes high going into the latter half of the competition. Nosif down in the feed right there as well. Coyote just praising how well they were doing. Unfortunately getting stuck in a bit of a sandwich right now. Unfortunately going out as well to Tomat and Mofu, who I think the strategy here is just to try and roll on through the rest of the solos that find themselves battling it out at the beginning.
Nearly had that too. Had both of them very, very weak for a second there. In the end, though, Tomat, Mofu will be the victors of the drop, the hot drop, if you will. Hostile Hold will probably be their next stop after they fully solidify their loadouts here. So, in any case, definitely appreciate it. Sky Skrull back on the hunt right now. 6th place as we see them again. 147 points now. Jumping out to Jojo Fishy. The action is real, and down he goes. A quick and swift elimination.
Pretty good there from Sky and Scroll. This is what we were talking about earlier. We want to see more of this early game aggression. We want to see more of these eliminations because they are the best team in the lobby. On paper, they're the best team in the lobby. Why not prove it? Why not go into the early stage of these games together, fighting it? You can see their family there in the bottom of the screen. Some memes as well. But let's see more Sky and Scroll. Let's see them put themselves in a winning position going into that 7th zone, because that's when they won the game.
I feel like that's what we're seeing out of Yuma and Coyote right now as well. This is a hero's effort from them to try to really confirm things here, right? Set a stamp on it at the Elite Stronghold. After this, we're going to retire this map. We're going to be moving on after the players get their kind of moment to recoup. Hari and Khaled. I mean, they've earned themselves some. I feel like we haven't seen them once here on the show. Our focus has been so top-heavy given the performances. Nosif and Izzy. Izzy's just getting farmed right now. Izzy at least did just spawn in. That could have been terrible for them. So works out that at least Nosif, although he gets finished here, Izzy did just spawn in. Otherwise, they would have been fully eliminated.
Yeah. And Shari as well. So they're a team that's inside of that top 10 right now. Look at this, though. Izzy. Awkward for Izzy. Down. Luckily, Nosif is still alive, so they won't have to worry too much about that situation. But as I say that, Nosif goes up in the sky, flying high, but going down. Just the vibe in this arena. It was deafening. The silence from everybody. Everyone is in a state of shock right now. The team in 5th place. The team that everyone's looking at. The team that everyone's hyping up. Go down in such awkward fashion. But great news for Sky and Scroll, who are closing on in. And they need to make up that difference, and that's going to help them out greatly.
Great news for the rest of the players, roughly inside the top 10, honestly.
Yeah.
You need these consistent warriors at the top to start faltering. Otherwise, they're just going to run away with things. The gap's going to get too wide, but hey, Nosif and Izzy being down here really does start to open up the runway for everyone else. Jackco Panzer still trying to find their way through, still trying to find their footing here in the tournament.
It's just tough. I mean, I thought this sort of format maybe would play into Yapko Panzer's hands, the experience that they have. And just, yeah, this year overall really just been one to forget, unfortunately. We get to see how Nosif there, of course, did go down. Just so unfortunate. And they've made this second half really interesting, at least. I can only imagine they won't find themselves at top 6 by the end of this game, depending on, of course, how teams below them end up doing. But they're giving these fans something to watch. They're not running away with it and making things really easy for themselves. They're making it difficult. And as I said before, Izzy and Nosif, they're a team that clutch up in the final moments. They're a team that I wouldn't be surprised that need a win in the last game and get one. So it's like, yeah, it's an unfortunate situation for them, but they got to back that clutch ability, that clutch factor that they seem to have, and they're going to need it right now.
Other teams on the heels here, Virgo in Shadow being one of the more notable ones. SAUL's Faded, though, and Khan are not the ones behind, but currently very much in the lead, holding 3rd place here and closing that gap fast. If they can pretty much close things out here off the Scroll and Sky. Scroll and Sky needed this more than ever. But Khan in Scroll or confirmed the Elim onto Scroll there with Faded. Sky just kind of waiting by here. Cannot afford to take the risk anymore. He's quite literally watching the action go down right there.
See what Sky can do. Scroll's back in the game. It's tough because I was hoping they would sort of roll through a few of these duos in the game. You can just see the nerves from the friends and family and the coaches just on display. Every single one of these games matter because the importance of this game has just been amplified. The fact that Izzy and Nosif are down and out. Yeah, every game is important, but this is really even more important because it's an opportunity as much as anything.
Yeah, big look of concern on the faces there of the parents, friends, coaches there in the crowd. You get that cheeky smile on Khan's face as kind of secure the drop for themselves. Choma Mofu continuing to turn up right now after taking down Coyote there before. It's a fight for the Meta Machine right now. Legendary Fish as well. That's always an interesting pickup. Sometimes they'll go for it. Depends on who you are.
Please make the final elimination with that. I want to see it. Not try and come up with a line for if that happens, you know? A final blow.
Uh-oh. Braids very Guga trying to play a little more defensively, but he's putting himself between Gon and Knight now. Peyton and Edson, these are two Brazilian duos. Right in between. Very much known for their aggression, though. These teams usually don't give up, and they might be giving a signal to Gon here. Get in there, go for it. We're pressuring from behind. Go ahead.
What a horrible position to be stuck in for Booger and Braves. You can see they've had to invest a lot of their materials here as well. They need to use some of these med kits. The actual position in zone is quite good. You know, they're in the zone. The zone's now, the storm is now moving. So they'll be more than happy with how they are. And the fact they were able to survive that is really important. But because they invested so many of those builds, they're not going to find too many eliminations right here. They're not going to find opportunities to go and refarm in this particular area. So you can sort of see them now just looking around. What's in the area? Where can we actually go? Where can we disengage and try and recoup some of these materials? Because that's going to be on the forefront of their mind right now. And you can just see them getting on the move right now there on the left side of the screen, looking to try and make a little refarm potential. For Khan and Fader, we've seen them putting themselves in positions to win games today, just haven't been able to close it out, which is important not just for today, but also for the finals if they do make their way in. Remember, it's match point format in the finals, so 350 points. As soon as you get there, you need to then get a win in order to actually win the entire event. I believe there is still a match cap as well, though, right? 15 matches overall capped up.
Yeah. It's gonna be quite the day for sure. We've seen that players that can play at a pace that can actually break that match point format, though.
Yeah.
Cold was easily on track. Peterbot was. Sharkantini was. I mean, you can argue today, Temish and Darmar definitely playing pretty hot. So anyone that kind of goes on a streak, stays consistent, give take around match 7. We'll start entering into match point conversation territory. That's going to be fun. That's never before seen, by the way. I think that's worth giving all the credit to the EWC team here. Obviously, experimenting, having fun. This entire product's been exceptional to watch kind of come together. Even this here today, the survival stage, one of its kind.
Yeah, I mean, even yesterday, can we have Jacob doing emotes on every broadcast we do?
I sent him the contract. I think he's already in. It's all good. It's getting taken care of. It's going to be awesome.
I want to see it. I'm not going to volunteer, personally.
Careful what you sign up for.
Oh, God.
Well, you wanted to watch, right? Here you go. Need you to do this one.
I don't know what I'll be doing for the last half of today.
Salvatore Yasin continuing that same look of determination here. Have full control of things here outside the Chisel Cubes. These vending machines tend to be hot spots for players, but no one kind of coming this way. Everyone jumping on, up, and over, getting more of the high ground positioning instead. Sky and Scroll included. The Storm weighing in on their HP, but overall, seems like they got enough just to bounce back into the tournament.
Yeah, they've found themselves in a nice position here. They've found themselves in a good state going into this end game. 20 seconds to go until reboots are going to end. We have seen players going down at this point, which if you do go down and reboot before that timer ends, you can still get back into the game. So it's determined by when you actually get eliminated. And it doesn't look as though anyone is going to get eliminated. Such a horrible time to go down, so I think all the teams sort of know that. That's when we get probably the most peaceful stage of competition and stage of the game. So everyone's sort of in the same boat right there. Another difficult zone pull for Sky and Scroll. They're going to have one of these Crash Pad Juniors in order to try and make it a little bit easier. Sky leading the way right now. Scroll trying to ensure that nobody's following and shooting them in the back. I like the way they sort of stagger that rotation as well. No need to try and make your way all the way in. Khan and Faded trying to forge a path their way through, trying to scout out, see what's ahead. They do have those overdrive grenades as well. Potentially even maybe a launch pad with how late they're leaving this. They might want to use one later on, though, although they do have that favorable position inside of the storm. Yeah, one singular overdrive grenade gets them pretty much into the zone. So, nice opportunity for them, spotting out a few materials there as well, so maybe we'll tarp that way.
Yeah, I'm glancing around. I'm looking for Virgo and Shadow, just trying to see if we get a little bit of an update on their situation. Remember, they're also very, very close. Here it is, Virgo with 24 HP, a successful rotate, only because they're alive. But it's going to cost them the remaining of their heals. This is their opportunity. One of the rare chances you have now to jump up and snatch away Nosif and Izzy's positioning here. I know the crowd might not want to hear that, but these are the types of chances you get very rarely in a tournament format like this. And same thing can be said for Khaled and Mhari. For Shari, you saw there, they're still alive. They're at 134 here as well.
Maybe mixed emotions if Virgo has a good game here, because remember, there's a lot of M8 fans actually in the audience, so it's like, yeah, Virgo, M8.
That's right.
Oh no,
That's
it's Nosif getting overtaken. So interested to see what things are like for that. Sky and Scroll, of course, find themselves in this position. Gone and Knight looking to try and have yet another good end game.
Oh, Shadow's down.
That's not ideal though for them.
For going for Knight, this is their chance to break away. For Virgo now, this is his chance to have to clutch here if he really wants to kind of remain competitive. Ooh, almost lands in a box with a player. It's always a scary situation to be in. This is going through a major POI. They could end up finding some leftover loot. Going Knight on the other side. No elims earned just yet, so no points earned here is actually very, very much questionable. And this could really go either way, looking at things now.
Yeah, and kind of strange for them as well. We've seen them getting a lot of eliminations coming into the end game, and then a lot of eliminations in the end game itself. So maybe they understand fourth place right now for them. They need to just find a little bit of consistency here. They probably looked in the feed as well. Nosif, Izzy down, so playing things a little bit more calmly. But as of right now, no points for them. Khan and Faded, 2 eliminations for them so far. Vazen is their target at the moment, spraying the pressure on through. Zone pulls back towards that north. Couple of teams on the low ground and have to try and make their way up. Retro and Phoenix looking to get another win, as we saw them get one in Group A, holding down that position up on height. But as we've seen, it's not safe and sound as of yet. Dharm and Demush looking to go on up. I don't think they'll go for height here, Dharm and Demush. They're not the sort of team that have been doing that today. We did see it yesterday in Group B. Whether they'll want to do it again, considering their position, we'll have to wait and see. Booger and Braids, though, good opportunity for them as well. A couple of difficult positions ahead of them. Tomat down as well, just ahead of them as well. So really important that they do well. Sky and Scroll down where they belong on the low ground. And that's Virgo and Shadow completely out as well.
Yeah, they tried. No placement points earned there. A 0-point game for Virgo and Shadow. They get frozen in 7th. Booga Braids are ramping their way up right now inside the top 10 here currently. Gone and Knight trying to see what more they can do. Again, haven't quite really began earning points yet. So everyone, coincidentally, inside the top 5 really hasn't changed much. Not even Nosif and Izzy's position being contested just yet, but that's all going to change here as there are only 27 players remaining.
Look at this, though. Dharm and Demush up on height. 0 eliminations so far, so very different to the way they got that 18 elimination win yesterday. No wins for them so far today as well, so they're still looking for that first win. They want to prove to us that they can take wins in these sort of formats. It's going to be really vital for tomorrow's finals. Scroll a bit wounded down on low ground. No shield either. Sky looking to try and forge a path all the way through. Goes through a lot of these old builds as well through this major POI. Dharm and Demon's getting contested up on height. Khan and Faded are the team that are looking to take it. They've been playing height so much today. They're trying to make it their domain, but the materials are dwindling. Khan looking to try and ensure that they don't go down to 4 damage if they get chopped, using that Flowberry Fizz. Booger and Braids now down as well, but Card and Faded looking to have a little bit more success here on height than we've seen them
Big
today.
Chance right now for Sky and Scroll. Those are some key eliminations. 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th are down and out, so Sky and Scroll have a chance here to make a runway for themselves. That's going to be hard to catch up after this break. Coming up, hold up, give it a second. Con and Faded still going for it. 4 elims now, high ground is theirs, and they're closing in on Dharm and Demish's lead too. Dharm and Demish, they'll finally get themselves their first elimination here. That's on to Yasin, so no Salvatore in sight. Han still pressuring from up top. Plenty to work with other than the material counts. They went with such a late high ground take, but in the end, it ends up working out as they're inside the top 10. Scroll gets Salvatore finishing up that duo. Yomac picked up, though. It's all up to Sky. He's got a little bit of work with. Team's on his heels is Night and Gone. Night falls first. Very nicely done. They're going to need the refresh here. Another edit from up top. And then only in Spooks. 7 elims trying to play for a win here. This could put them closer inside the top 10. I mean, we said it, Vinny. Just one game can all of a sudden put you into conversation. Scrolls down, Sky still in, 6 elims here and going.
And Sky takes down Demus right there as well. That's one of their immediate competition ahead of them. Spooks and Oatly, though, looking to put OCE on the map. And so is Z-Dog and Goofy. Spooks and Oatly, the only duo alive right now, though, as Sky tries to make his way into that zone. Spooks and Oatly trying to prove why to the other day was not a fluke. And they take the game. The rest of the lobby tumbles so quickly. The energy is there, the vibes are high, and going into Slurp Rush, they reignited the belief.
Love it, love it. Oatly, you can see the excitement on his face as he finally eases up and gets that land victory. He's got to come back down to earth. There he is, there he is. Okay, he's back. He's back.
He's like, yeah, hang on, no, I've got to stay cool here.
He's like, all right,
maintain the aura.
I'm still Goatly. Still Goatly. I got to get back to it.
That's good, though. I mean, I think it's important for them to prove to everyone that yesterday, the way that they performed was not a fluke. Going off the chain, the aura. Oh, so cold. Coldly, you can call it. Why not? Demus and Dom, though, what a performance for these guys.
That was a good one. Take a look at the highlights here. From Oatly's perspective, I mean, they made it look easy. They had that Nitro high ground. It was good. So your winner, Spooks and Oatly, Team Jogo, that was quite the win. And again, a very, very important win. Way to get a dub as you go into this like kind of next session where you get to sit back, kind of reevaluate things, prepare for the Slurp Rush. Like, this is the time to do it.
Yep.
Help kind of rejuvenate yourself, then come back ready and push for a strong back half of the tournament. They did so well yesterday.
Yep.
Just makes you wonder, a slightly better start, and they'd be very far ahead right now.
Well, it changes the context of that halftime break. These guys have got a little bit of time right now to maybe look at those VODs, to take a break, take a breather, have a sip to drink. And I think it just changes the context entirely to the point where it's now going into that break feeling confident, feeling good, happy about how things are going. But for a team like Izzy and Nosif, that's the complete other side of things. They're a team that didn't end the game right there particularly well. And that now changes how they look at things. Even Sky and Scroll, they'll still be expecting so much more from themselves. And it's going to be interesting to see how they continue to develop throughout the second half of the day as well, because they're not done and dusted either.
You know what? We also got to give shouts to Z-Dog and Goofy. I'm looking at the points here.
Yeah.
They also, with that second place, puts them just possibly ahead. Again, we'll wait for the official score confirmations ahead of Oatly and Spooks, though. So, which are now Rescue and Nosif, who had the biggest upset falling early there. So now really does become anyone's race all the way down to roughly 13th place.
Wow.
All teams from 6 to 13 for now in contention for Izzy and Nosif's spot.
It's all getting really close here. You know, the latter half of the competition is going to be absolutely fantastic. It's going to be close. It's going to be hotly contested. That top 6 is where your eyes got to be set on. That's the amount of teams that are going to qualify on through. And for those finals tomorrow, you do not want your keys getting crushed, or else you will not get a spot in those finals. Remember, match points can be super important as well. All about how you can get wins, how you can perform on that stage under the pressure. And for the second half of today, the pressure is truly going to be on for our teams.
Yeah, you can see Shadow very much disappointed on how things kind of went that last game. He was so close, yet so far. For us to see that winner's banner there, what better than to hear from Barney with the voices themselves that won that game.
Spooks and Oatly managing to secure that ever so crucial victory royale before going into the second half of the day on the survival stage. Spooks let's quickly chat. How vital were those points? What were the comms like going into the final moments of that map?
We were low on points going into that game. I just told Oli, let's go for high. We'll win the game and finish the first half off good.
Has that kind of boosted the confidence then going into the second half, managing to secure those points? Kind of lifts a bit of that pressure off, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Next half, we'll just qual.
I like it. Next half, speaking of that, it is, of course, Slurp Rush. Feeling a bit more confident on that map in particular, or is it just kind of more of the same?
It's more of the same. We're landing a new drop, but we should be good.
I love it. Short and sweet. Nice, nice moving. I like this. Right, Jogo, of course, that's Spooks, that's Oatly. Smashing it here on the main stage on the Gadia City grid. But of course, we've got 5 more maps to go until we close out the survival stage. So hopefully you boys can do it. We'll see you guys in the latter half of the day. But for now, let's go back to you guys.